Everyone, welcome to another episode of Daily Energy. I'm your host, Araya Eden. The day's energy is one, to be productive. It's one, to get out there and do something, to take action today, and not to put off what you can do today for tomorrow. It's a day that you want to take care of your business. It's a day that you want to be found in your work or in your home or wherever you are. You want to be found putting forth the effort, doing your part. Today, you may experience some type of training, or you may have to be trained, as that's the overall energy that I'm picking up today, is showing someone how to do something. If someone doesn't know how to do something, it's our responsibility to teach them to an extent what we know. For some of you, my responsibility is to teach you what I know according to my purpose. And that's the same for you with others. Teach them what you know according to your purpose. So there's going to be a lot of people trying to find their purpose today. And they're going to be asking the right questions. Now, they should be asking the right questions. Now, here is something that I talked to you before. And for those of you who have been watching me for a while, I'm going to test you again just to see if you remember what that I taught you was before about how to get fulfilled. And remember, I was telling you that there's 3 things that can fulfill you. 3 things. What are those 3 things? Do you remember? Those 3 things is belief in something higher than yourself, your purpose, and your authentic self. The reason why I'm telling you this again is because repetition helps with memory. Repetition helps with memory. The more you hear it, the more you memorize it, or you remember it. And so it ties in today, because you're going to be trying to find, some of you are going to be trying to find your purpose. Some of you are going to be trying to produce something. But in order to maximize this energy today, you can't just produce anything. If you produce outside of your purpose, I'm going to tell you now, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Nobody, and believe me when I tell you, nobody will be successful producing outside of their purpose. They might get a few dollars here and there, but it's not going to be something lasting, and it's not going to be that thing that's going to cause them to feel more fulfilled in life. Okay? So that's not going to work. All right, so you want to focus on your purpose. Now, in order to take action today, you can't just get out here and act. You can't just get out here and do anything. You'll just be going without a plan, without any. So you need thoughts, emotions, and actions. Those 3 go together. Thoughts, emotions, and actions. Not anybody's thoughts, your thoughts. Okay? Your thoughts. See, this is, and I want to trade out thoughts with thinking. Okay? Thinking is, so that's what you're doing today. You're trading out thoughts for thinking. Because I told you about Ayat Fa'asa, and how sometimes your thoughts are not really your thoughts because they're passive. And so, because we deal with energy on the daily, sometimes those thoughts can come in from a whisper in your ear, and it could be whether it's God or a demon. Those thoughts come. And so if you don't know how to hear the voice of God, you might fall for the voice of a demon. You see, luckily for a lot of us who are chosen, we have gotten to know the voice of God as God started to talk to us from the time we were babes, from the time we were in the mother's womb, and started to audibly talk to you, some of you, when you were like 6 years old. Typically, it starts at the age of 6. It starts earlier than that, but at 6 you begin to understand a little bit better that you're not alone. And so at this point, you want to take your thoughts and transform your thoughts into thinking. Okay? Because anybody can mess with your thoughts. Anybody can manipulate your thoughts. Okay? Especially if you start to value those opinions, then they can manipulate your thoughts. So you want to transform from that thoughts to thinking. So today is the day to think. But not just think. Practice emotional intelligence. And then also practice putting forth the effort. Effort makes the ordinary what? Effort makes the ordinary extraordinary. And so today is about putting in the effort. If you want that raise at your job, you want to be seen putting in the effort to get that raise at your job. Nobody's going to give you money if they don't see that you're able to perform the service, or they don't think at some point you will be able to perform the service. So you want to make sure that when you're out on your at your jobs today, and if you're doing some kind of service for someone, they see you performing in a way that's going to get results. And the way that you can ensure that you get results is you do the best that you can. You do your research. You learn. You make sure you go over the manual, the handbook, to make sure you're doing things right. And if you don't know how to do something, I have learned and have been told several times by my father that it is important that I don't feign knowledge. And feigning knowledge is basically not studying to show yourself approved. Feigning knowledge is also not listening to those who have the experience that you need to complete. I don't remember what it was called, but in my in business school, I remember hearing about how much the wisdom, the elders at those that have been there for a long period of time, they carried so much wisdom. They carried a type of skill that can't be taught. It's just something that just comes. It's just a sense of knowing that they have. And so when they transition out because they didn't train anybody underneath them, all of that knowledge goes out with them. And then all of a sudden the company realizes that, they're not producing as much as they were. That's because they let go all of their elders. And this is significant today because I'm getting something about the elders. And yes, granted, the energy talk today is one to where over the next today and tomorrow, we're going to see transitions into the spirit. And this transition into the spirit is more so going to be elders transitioning in the spirit. So this is people who have lived their lives and they're going to transition to the spirit because they were fulfilled and they completed their assignments. So for you who are still here, don't stop living while you still have breath. Complete your assignment. And so that's what the divine has for us today, is that we put forth the effort and we complete. Now, sometimes People may feel like it's too much for them. You may feel like it's too much. You may feel like it's too heavy. It's the only way you're going to feel like it's too much and it's too heavy when you don't know who you are and you don't know what you're here to do. You don't know what you're doing. Because the more skillful you become, the more you start to embrace that aspect of you. Example, me. I ran from doing the very thing that I'm doing right now for as long as I possibly could. I ran from my gift of prophecy because I feared people would call me a witch. I ran from even people themselves because I didn't want to get disappointed. But once I got out of that and I start to focus and hone in on slowly on what the divine has told me, what Father has told me, and my purpose, then things started to come full circle for me. I started to feel more fulfilled. And when you feel more fulfilled with the divine, you don't have space for anything outside of that because you're focused. That's how you get straight to it. Put your plans in action. That's how you're supposed to do it. You'll go from being a sideshow to being the main attraction. So at all costs, chosen one, avoid distraction. Okay? So this is the energy. Avoid distraction today and produce. We're going to hear a lot on the news over the next 1 or 3 days about production and manufacturing. A lot of business news today. You may see your boss out and about on the streets. A lot of people are going to get on the streets. You're going to see your boss out and about on the streets, in them streets, on that flow, baby. There's likely to be quality checks today. There's likely to be quality checks today. So brace yourself and get ready for this energy that could come in. Okay. They want to see you doing the work because a lot of them are putting forth the effort. Now, teamwork makes the dream work. But today, a lot of people are going to be acting as individuals. And this is the time when you act as an individual. When you see a cluster of people talking, sitting around, they not working, don't you go join that group, especially not today. Don't go join that group. You be seen working. That's how you get noticed outside of everybody else. That's how you get your promotion. That's how you get your raise. When every time your manager, your boss comes onto the floor, they see this whole group of people over there laughing, joking around, not doing their job, but you over here working and getting it done. And not only are you working, you're producing numbers. You're helping other people out. You're training them. Someone asked me before if they should fire someone because they don't seem to be getting it. And I told them absolutely not. Because your job is to be of service. And so if they're not getting it, your job is to go ensure that they do get it, or that you at least give them a chance to get it by training them. That's what I asked. I said, did you train them? And she said, no. Well, how are you going to expect them to get it when you didn't train them to get it? So you're expecting them to do a job and do a service. For one, you never told them what it was that you expected from them and what it was that you wanted from them. So if you're going to do your job half-ass, what makes you think that they're not going to do their job half-ass? They're going to follow the leader. You are the leader. So it's your responsibility to lead your congregation. It's your responsibility to lead your team. So if it's not producing, that's not on them. That falls on you. So you have to find a way to boost the morale in your organization. Because if they're slacking off, that's the sign that they're either not trained or they don't value their job enough And that's when you want to boost morale. You want to, we learned in school about, I think it was Netflix. And basically, how at some point in time, I don't know if they're still doing it, but they allowed their employees to pick their hours. Their type of relaxed methods caused them to retain more because people wanted to stay there. It's like the point system. I love the point system because you mean to tell me all I got to do is use my points when I need to call out from work? And if I point out, that's not nobody else's fault but mine. You see? So you want to find different ways to lead, because you got to understand every way is not going to work. Some people are not hands-on, but for others, you're going to have to walk them through visually. You're going to have to sit them down, explain to them. And I know some of you like, I don't got time to baby nobody. I need somebody in this position to do the work. But yeah, they're going to do the work, but you can train. Have team meetings. This is the type of stuff that's going to come up today. I'm also seeing a lot about marriages and coming together, and teamwork makes the dream work. And so this is a day that could be fun for some. It could be entertaining. It could be joyful. Please let it be joyful. But I see the coming together. And this is significant, seeming that we're in the 35 days left. I think it's like 36, 35 days left of this domestic energy that people tend to start going at each other because, in relationships, they start going at each other because they're in the same house with each other. And some of them are snowed in. They can't go nowhere, just like it was in COVID. And so it's like you start to get on each other's nerves at some point. But you know why? Because there's not a definition of roles. You don't have defined roles. When you have defined roles and everybody doing their parts, there's no problem. And even if the problem comes, you can solve it. That's why the feminine roles and the masculine roles are so important, whether the man does the feminine roles or the woman does the feminine roles. They're still important. If you're going to do the feminine roles, she's got to do the masculine roles. But there's got to be some kind of balance in that household, because and you got to make sure the one doing the changing the roles actually wants to do the role. You can't just take on a feminine role and then expect her to get out and do all the work, because in her mindset, she's not built like that. She doesn't work like that. If she's traditional, she's going to say, well, the man is supposed to be the protector and the provider. And if you're not being the protector and the provider, don't get mad at her because she don't trust you enough to be the protector and the provider. You see, you're not being the protector and the provider. Now, on the flip side of things, if you're not doing your part, and I'm speaking in a sense of balance, okay? If you're not doing your part and doing the cooking and the cleaning and taking care of the household type of stuff, don't get mad at him when he runs off and finds somebody who does. Because you're not doing your part. Not only are you not being the protector, you're not being the provider, you're not being the homemaker, you're not nurturing. So if you're not doing all of those things, you're causing a lack of balance in the household. And when there's a lack of balance and two people are doing the same thing, they go like this. They go at each other. Because there's not defined roles. If you think about the structure of a business, there must be defined roles. And although relationships should not always be managed as a business, At some point, to run a household, it should be. There must be defined roles. Try it out for a couple of months. Sit them down and say, okay, let's try this. You do this, and I'm going to do this. And then switch it up sometimes so that you can make sure you give the homemaker a break, and that you can make sure you give the protector and the provider a break, because everybody needs a vacation. Although we don't get vacations for life. I mean, at death, but so be fair. Okay, so that's likely what's going on here. Everybody needs to have a defined role. If you lead, and I mean, if you really lead, they will follow. Might take them a while to get on board, but it will happen. So hard work and discipline is something that's highlighted as well today in this energy. Hard work and discipline. Okay. So all day, all night. Okay. Hard work and discipline. It is important that you focus your energy on your goals and try not to be impatient. You get frustrated with people when things don't go your way, because it's like you're trying to control them. And you got to learn that you cannot control people. I mean, it doesn't really work in your favor to try to do so, because people, especially like people like me, we're going to rebel. Okay, because we're free spirited. So you got to find different ways and different methods. And that's why thinking and thoughts, thinking, emotions and actions all tie together. Okay. Emotional intelligence is not just for you. It's for others as well. Because remember yesterday I said, if you pay attention, you will be able to see it. I can look at somebody sometimes and know exactly what they're going through. I can look at somebody and tell exactly what they're feeling, because it's the emotional intelligence, the stuff that I've gone through, but as well the stuff that I can see because I'm reading body language. If somebody's crossing their arms in front of them, or they're hiding their stomach or protecting their stomach, it's not because a lot of times they think they're fat. It's because they're uncomfortable. So you got to pay attention, okay? But you can't go just off of feelings alone, okay? So do not be nervous or afraid to reach for a higher level. Do not be nervous or afraid to stand out. Do not be nervous and afraid to step outside of the box and do something that nobody has done before. Because believe it or not, if you're watching me right now, you were actually born to do exactly that. You were born to do it. Okay, so let me go over some of the things that we'll see in the news over the next 1 or 3 days. I told you that seniors are going to be transitioning out, so make sure you spend some time with your loved ones, especially if they're elderly and they're 90s and 100s, 80s, 90s, 100s. They're going to be some of them are going to be transitioning out today. Okay. That's just energetically. Okay. So because they're exhausted, and exhausted is a word of the day, and they're yearning for something new, and they will get just that, endings or new beginnings in disguise. Okay, so I'm also getting energy here about finding something and pinpointing something. It's going to be something. If you lost something, you're likely to find it today if you put the effort in. Solving problems, today is the day to solve problems. Okay, it's not the day to sit down, but Sit is a word of the day. And so watch where you sit, and make sure your manager, your boss, or whoever that's going to be out and about does not see you sitting down. Okay? It's the day to work. Don't be shrewd. Don't look down on others. We may see that in the news coming in. They say knowledge is power, but that knowledge is not power without wisdom and understanding. Okay? Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding all go together. That's why it said wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Okay? All right. So you're going to see a lot of quick wit. You're going to see a lot of people trying to suck up and impress today. And don't get jealous. Okay? Let them do what they do. You do what you do, and focus on you, boo. Focus on you. I'm seeing something coming in about fudge. I just thought don't fudge it up. Don't fudge it up. Somebody might fudge it up because it's manufacturing energy. Now, because it's manufacturing and production and business energy, if you're working with machines today, pay attention. Pay attention, because I'm getting more accidents over the next 1 to 3 days concerning this. Specifically, I'm seeing castrations. I'm seeing legs specifically being something happening with the legs been chopped off, something happening with the legs. And that's something we may see in the news over the next 1 or 3 days. Maybe someone gets fed up, because I'm also seeing fed. Now, this could be FedEx. We might see something about FedEx. We might see something about Chewy. And we may see something come in about feds, the FBI in general, feds. And so the Federal Bureau of Investigations. So we may see something coming in about them. And so because I got fed, and I'm tying that with the fact that we're in this domestic energy, and somebody might Morena Bobbitt and get so fed up that they castrate something or someone. But it is the time to where energetically they're talking about the castration of animals. But I don't know too much about that, even though I live on the farm. So for some of you, that might be significant. Education, we'll hear news about the education system. This could be students returning back to school. This could be more school closures. Okay, for some. Also, we're approaching I was going to say graduation season, but I'm not certain, but I am picking up education, okay? And for some, completion. All right, so chewy and fudge desserts. Something being highlighted about desserts, food, something along those lines. Maybe there is an increase in the stock markets concerning desserts. Okay, because people are in the house and they're starting to eat more. Okay. I'm so proud of myself. Y'all just don't know. All right, so we're getting a lot of foodie energy, okay? A lot of foodie energy. Warm, stuffy, smoky, stale atmosphere. Warm, stuffy, smoky, stale atmosphere. So this could be the fires. This could be the volcano that I feel like is getting ready to erupt. It's like revving up, and it's like, so there's going to be a more in ash and gas in the atmosphere. But I'm also getting like the ground breaking, ground shaking. Now, there might be a groundbreaking discovery today, but I'm getting ground breaking, and this could also be that earthquake energy that I'm picking up. There's going to be a lot of earthquakes and volcanoes, more than we have known it to be in history for a long time. And this is because of something that I have recently discovered. And I'm trying to stay out of this energy, but it's my purpose. And my purpose is to educate you spiritually, religiously, and godly. And so because of that, I want to tell you that I read Jeremiah 33 last night. So if you get a chance, read Jeremiah 33. And this was so significant because I've known this, but it ties some stuff together for me here. And then not only did Father show me that, he actually sent me to a video that tied into that. And it had a lot to do with the covenant. The covenant. And, and so who that covenant was for. So the covenant was for Israel and Judah. Okay? Israel and Judah. Israel being the dark, Judah being the light, day and night. So when Jeremiah 33 talks about day and night, they're talking about Israel and Judah. The tribe of Israel, the Levites, the Levitical priests, were the ones that burned incense and kept things in order on a spiritual side of things. They worked on the emotional side of things. Remember I told you earlier, it's thinking, emotions, and action, because I'm taking thoughts out the play. But so the Levitical side of things, the Levi, the sons and daughter of Jacob at the time, now Israel, the sons and daughters, not daughters, daughter, was Levi. Okay? Jacob, Leah. Israel, Leah. And then the Judah side, I'm not certain, but I would bet that that's the descendants of Israel and Rachel. I'm not sure about that part of things, but I am certain that the Levitical priests are the ones that hold down the emotions part. And then the other flip side of things, Judah, are the ones that basically hold up the thinking side of things, the actional side of things. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the actional side of things. And then putting those two together, you have balance and completion. And so that's what Jeremiah 33 is talking about. Day and night, the covenant was made between what you might not know is the son and the daughter of God, who this land, all of it, belongs to. And at some point in time, what ended up happening is that when Jesus was crucified, they said the owner of this land is not here anymore. Why? Because they didn't want a woman, which was the Levitical side of things, to be in place. Because mind you, although Dinah was a woman, she was still a Levite. And she was still a Levitical priest. She is the high priest. So that's where you get your high priest from. And so when she's not here, the moon, and when he's not here, the sun, and I'm using she and he lightly because she could always be a he because she has been before. Okay? So when they are not here, then this is where you get the Pope that comes into place. And the Pope says, which is a contract which was signed way back in the day. I'll share that video with you later on. That contract was a covenant between England and, I want to say, the then king. However, that was an illegitimate contract because the Son is not the Son alone. My only begotten Son. But there's not only an only begotten Son. Listen to me and listen to me closely, because I'm finna tell you the truth, and I'm gonna tell you, and I don't care what you think and what you say about it. But there's also an only begotten daughter. There's a son and there's a daughter. And together they create balance day and night. He gave this land to his children. And so Jeremiah talks about, until you do right by them and put them back in their rightful place and their rightful positions, thus, O Israel, O Judah, I'm going to send you back into captivity. Because who led the multitude? It was not just Moses alone. It was Moses, Aaron, and Miriam. Why are those three significant? They are your rightful kings and queens and princes. Do you understand me, Israel? And so Jeremiah 33 says that until you do right by them, world, you will not get it right on this earth. And Father would rather scorch the earth before he continues to let his children suffer. That's the significance. The reason why I'm also bringing that up is because it lets me know that those who sit on the pulpit and they preach that women should not do this and women should not do that, they can only do that to women that's below them. But there is a woman that sits higher than all women, except her mother. And to that one woman and that one man king, one day all knees will bow. This is the bride and the bridegroom. That's why the bride is not the church. The bride brings the church. Do you hear me? And without the two of them in place, I don't care who you are, you will cry out, Lord, Lord, didn't we do this and didn't we do not that? Because you don't get it. And this is the truth that I'm sharing with you. The truth that you can find in the word yourself. There are people that was supposed to hold a space. That space did not belong to them. And because they took over that position and they took over that place because of greed, and you know who you are. Because of greed, volcanoes, earthquakes, fires, strong winds, you have not seen it all because it's only just begun. You must have balance. And what did I tell you a long time ago in writing? When there's no balance, chaos and destruction run amok. So that's what you're getting here. I'll probably teach more about this tomorrow, since tomorrow is more an appropriate, well, any day is an appropriate day to talk about it, because you let the spirit lead you. But tomorrow I'll probably try to talk more about this and tie it all together for you in a way that some of you can understand better, and share that video with you, so that you'll know I'm not just making this stuff up. Okay? So people are going to be talking about supernatural creatures, magical powers, that type of thing. We're going to see something. I'm seeing perpetual lease and land, grant land. So it's not a coincidence that I'm bringing up this about land. Okay, perpetual lease. We might have squatter energy coming in. Something about fixed rent. Maybe there's going to be fees and rates or something put, like ceilings being put on like the rent in some places, like they can only charge so much in rent. Now, I'm not certain if that's exactly what we're going to see, but it's going to be something along those lines. Okay, so there may be something that happens at a halfway house. So it could be a stabbing that happens at a halfway house. Something coming in about a halfway house. I'm picking up a halfway house here. So that might be something significant there. Drainage. So there's drainage, there's a mine. I'm picking up energy, so we'll hear something on the news over the next 1 to 3 days about that. Contests, fighting, duels, courting, well, that too, but cuttings, and that's why I'm getting cut. So if you're handling sharp objects, like I said, pay attention to what you're doing, because there's going to be a lot of energy. Okay. Okay. I've been working on trying to stop saying okay. That's my transition word. Okay. It used to be yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. So present or deal with something vague or inadequate way to conceal the truth or mislead. So someone's going to be trying to hide something. Now, this is the thing with this energy. This is one of them days when I say them thieves, because they'll try to get it by any means necessary. They'll be out seeking whom they may devour in a different way, but they'll be trying to steal your information. Information. They'll be trying to steal your information. They'll start trying to steal your information. Okay? And so you want to make sure you are concealing your information in a way that will not make it easier for people to hack your stuff and steal your money that way. Okay? Or even bribe you. Okay, because, sometimes salesmen are good. They can talk you out of everything, child. All right, don't be misled. I'm getting something coming in about Dodge. This could be the car, the Dodge company. We may see something coming in about Dodge. Okay, someone may try to get out of something, avoid something. And so we may see something about some kind of avoidance, someone trying to get out of duty, disbelief and annoyance. And if that's you with disbelief and annoyance, that's just you with disbelief and annoyance. I'm also getting something coming in about flu. So there's going to be talk about the flu again. Stick gum past. We may see something sticking to somebody. Glue, manufacturing. Now you would think, okay, if I would have saw this a long time ago, I would have thought about the person that put Gorilla Glue in their hair. Y'all laughed about it, but to me, that head was shining and slick. So I'm like, she might have been on to something there. That head was shining and slick, but something like that could happen again here. I'm getting something about glue. What is it about glue? I don't know. They found bacteria in Fabuloso. Maybe they find bacteria in glue. Ain't no telling. But I'm seeing something about glue. More about the bird flu. But now we're going to see something coming in about bats. You know, I heard that somebody was, for those of you who smoke the stuff, there was somebody that was growing weed, cannabis, whatever, and bat poop. And the two of them, I think it was two of them, they passed away. So, see, when you're smoking stuff, you don't know what these people are growing that stuff in. A lot of it is, shit. They're growing it in shit. Yeah. I done smoked a joint or two in my day. So it's not a judgment. Donate some edibles. Not a judgment. That's how I was able to overcome a lot of stuff, but made me a little bit too lazy. I can't work and sleep. So that's not for me. But some of you do. But you need to be careful because I don't know if that's just going to affect the people that was growing it, or if it affected the product that came from it. Okay? Because they died because they grew it in bat poop, and it created some kind of something in the atmosphere that took them out. Okay? I'm seeing this could be flights being back in the air, but there might be a flight or something that needs assistance today, as I'm seeing something being guided back in, like it's like being guided. I almost feel like it needs help. I don't know if it loses like its comms or what, but I almost feel like it needs like some kind of guidance. But this could be just like flights being delayed. Okay, maybe delayed flights being in the air, delayed flights. We'll hear more about aircrafts. Okay, I didn't see crash, but anytime I see a plane in the energy, that's always likely, as tomorrow brings in a mass of endings, a mass of transitioning into the spirit. And when that mass of transitioning into the spirit starts to take place, it ends up being something mass that happens, mass shootings, mass wreckages, that type of thing, as a large number of people are set to get their spiritual rewards. Hearing something about a ducks, floats, boats might be significant. Maybe that's the boat that needs to be guided in from a canal. Boat being stuck in the canal. I keep picking up something about this canal. All right. So other than that, I'm getting fees, tolls, charge, levies. So more on that. Fees, tolls, charges, levies. News on schools, education, reports on the supernatural. Many of those in the age pass away. Manufacturing, repair, production, and action and creativity. We'll hear more about that in the news over the next 1 to 3 days, specifically today. Two coming together as one. Someone gets fed up and possibly castrate someone. Fighting energy remains, especially in something having to do with a halfway house or inmates. So prison energy here. conduct and training, job production, quality checks, business energy, showing someone the way, provide a route to, composition, results, or start. Competition results or the start of a competition. We'll see today. Shock accidents, voltage, light. I'm getting something about lights, okay? And it's just probably because you're the light of this world. Okay, more on a court case. We'll see more on a court case. Well, I love you, my friends. I wish you a happy, productive day. Take care of yourself and each other's. Hearts go out. You get a heart. You get a heart. You get a heart. Hearts go out. Hearts go out. Bye.